Nah, you're already cheesy enough with all your dad jokes.
And I keep all my jokes in a dad-a-base.
Leave me alone. I'm hungry.
No, you're Dave. Hungry is a country.
Taco Bell's Double Steak Grilled Cheese Burrito is back. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only. Contact local store for hours and participation, which vary. Double the steak claim is compared to the steak quesadilla.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Your home for the Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings after 8 on the Big 920. WOKY, Milwaukee.
iHeartRadio.
Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin is on the air. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options with a lifestyle you deserve with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. Wild Rock Golf Club. From 5 sets of tees and expansive greens, it's a course set up to embrace a challenge for scratch golfers to resort guests. Also by Zimbrick European. Why drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary? University Ridge Golf Course, a public course that offers something for players of every ability and is the home of the Badgers men's and women's golf team. And by the Alzheimer's Association. Now here are your co-hosts for Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin, Dennis Tiziani, who's a member of the Wisconsin.Golf Hall of Fame.
Okay, you crazy kids, your mics are on.
Welcome to another edition of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from TPC Wisconsin in Madison. Along with Dave McCann, our engineer, Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown. Well, we're playing the 18th hole, our final hole of the year here for Talking Golf. Huh?
We're one up. All we got to do is make a par. You win.
Well,
Steve Stricker game.
Steve is going to be on the show here in a little while, and that was a family affair this past weekend, wasn't it? For the
Yep, they're doing good. Mario finished 16th or something like that.
Tied for 16th. He was 7 under, and he's 75th now.
And
$110,000. Not a bad part-time.
Is that how much? He's got 110 already. I'm going to have to get into that.
Not a bad part-time job, huh?
Take care of his dad a little bit, you know. No, he's going to. I think he's quality. I think he went down to qualify for the next event. If he finished in the top 10, which he should have done, you know, I mean, he'd have been exempt. But he's going down to qualify, and I know that he's exempt out at that Sanford tournament, so he's got a good chance really to move up, and he's done great. I mean, very representative of somebody who come off of no tours and got there, which is what we've been saying all along, that there's some great players out there.
Yeah.
Because of the closed shop that exists on the PGA Tour and the Senior Tour, you know, you got some guys there that are 80 years old. They come there just to pick up their check. You know, they're done. They should be done. I mean, all due respect, but, you know, what's his name, Ulcer, or the guy who's leading?
Elker?
Yeah, I mean, where was he all this time, you know? And they're showing up, and there'll be more and more and more of that as time goes on.
Tell me about Mario as a player. You have said over the years consistently, in terms of pure ball striking, he may be as good as a ball striker as Steve or anybody, huh?
Well, he's as good a ball striker. He belongs there, but you can tell that he doesn't have the reps. In other words, he doesn't have the tournament experience that's there where, you know, he gets aggressive and he does good, then he backs off a little bit. And I've got an inside track with his caddy a little bit on what's going on, you know.
With Bobby.
Yeah, and she sees it, and but he's improving on it. I mean, that's what it's all about, is that it's growing. And he's got time. He's 52 years old, so he's got a good 5 to 10 years that he can play and get better at it. I'll just tell you what, he will win a tournament out there. I mean, I've listened to it. I've talked with Steve a little bit. I see where he is and where he is with everybody else. And, I mean, he just played with Jim Furyk and people like that and beat him.
Yeah.
So, you know, there he's playing with the best, at least the best in that age group, and he's doing good. So I like what he's doing. But he made a decision much like I did, right? He has two, now they're not little girls anymore. They're in college. But he made a choice of staying home with his family rather than to continue on the tour. I did the same thing. I had 3 kids and a wife at home, and here I'm running around the world for 2.5 years, 3 years.
Sleeping in your car and whatever
well, but
else.
the point is you got to make a decision. Now, today's people, have a lot of funding and a lot of backing, so you can get on your private plane, and then you can rent a house, and you can take your family with you. Totally different than when we went, where five and six buddies in the car, drinking beer and going to the next tournament. I mean, that's a total different deal.
And the one thing I've heard you say over the years, too, in terms of Mario, ball striking ability, definitely has the ability. The one issue, was it putting?
Yeah. If he makes the first putt, he'll shoot nothing. But if you don't make that first putt, and you talk to Wally, you talk to a lot of people who caddy for him, you take a look at some scores where all of a sudden he shoots 5, 6, 7 under. All right? I mean, he gets going. We'll see again now. He's going to go in another element where he qualifies. He qualified the last time, whatever he shot, 65 or something like that to qualify. But, all of a sudden he steps up. So he has that ability to do it too. And hitting the ball has never been the issue. How close he hits it, or not close. We stress you need to hit the ball across from the hole. I don't care if you're 10, 20 feet to the left or right, but you got to get distance control. And for a long time, he spins the ball so bad that he has to sometimes get in the rough in the back and then spin it through the rough onto the green. But now we got that down. We got the ball that works for him, and he's getting better at playing golf now. See, not hitting the ball. Hitting the ball is one thing. Playing golf is the other.
Yeah, and Steve Stricker played some golf over the weekend, huh?
Yeah, well, he plays golf. He's been around a little bit too, but he had those things where now he's become, and Mario's getting along. See, they become their own best teacher now. If something happens out there, they can fix it by themselves. They've got enough knowledge to do it. Is he 100% fundamentally right? No, I don't know how many there are, but there are people out there that have made concessions in their swing. I mean, if the club is a little bit closed, it's a little bit right, and they hook it in. So they've made concessions trying to make this perfect. Doesn't get it. You wind up, kind of half nuts. So these people, they're their own best teachers now. They can fix their own thing. They know enough about the physics that we talked about. And it's good for a guy like me. You don't have to babysit him,
Well, and there, incidentally, besides Stricker winning on the Champions Tour, there was another tournament that was held over the weekend. Rory McIlroy won his third FedEx Cup and the $18 million top prize with a one-shot victory over Scotty Scheffler. And after winning the championship, Rory had the following comments when he was interviewed by Mike Trico of NBC Sports.
Nice to have that back in your hands.
For sure, yeah, really nice. What a week, what a day. Firstly, there's one thing I want to say. I feel like Scotty deserves at least half of this today. He has had an unbelievable season. I feel sort of bad that I pipped him to the post, but he's a hell of a competitor. He's an even better guy. It was an honor and a privilege to battle with him today, and I'm sure we'll have many more. I told him we're 1-1 in Georgia this year. He got the Masters, I got this.
And you made a great run at him that Sunday at Augusta. Getting in the last group, being a couple under this morning, how important was that to eyeball Scotty here to try to chase him down 6 back to start?
Yeah, I've been in the final group here 3 of the last 5 years, starting with Tiger in 2018. And that incredible scene, and then to get the better of Brooks in 19 was awesome. And then another final group here. I didn't really give myself much of a chance teeing off today. I thought six behind. I thought it was going to be really tough to make up, but my good play and Scotty's not so great play, and it was a ball game going into the back 9.
You made putts. We talked about the Open, how the putts didn't fall. I know that was tough for you. It was a tough couple of days after that. Given everything that's happened this year and the role you've taken front and center with the changing landscape in the sport, how satisfying is it for you to stand here at the end of the season and win this year's FedEx Cup?
It means an awful lot. I believe in the game of golf. I believe in this tour in particular. I believe on the players, I believe in the players on this tour. It's the greatest place in the world to play golf, bar none. And I've played all over the world. And this is an incredibly proud moment for me, but it should also be an incredibly proud moment for the PGA Tour. They've had some hard times this year, but we're getting through it. And that was a spectacle out there today. Two of the best players in the world going head to head for the biggest prize on the PGA Tour, and I hope everyone at home enjoyed that.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Mike.
That's Rory McIlroy winning the FedEx Cup. And we'll be back with Steve Stricker after this timeout on TPC Wisconsin.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing you the right balance of care centered around their lifestyles. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Enjoy the comforts of your apartment with an abundance of events just outside your door. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations in Madison, Janesville, and Baraboo. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells, a Herdston Fry masterpiece, is one of the premier golf destinations in the Midwest. Wild Rock provides a true test of your skill, combined with some of the most stunning vistas you're ever going to encounter on a Wisconsin golf course. Download the new free Wild Rock app. It's a true game changer and lets you stay up to date and receive special promotions regarding all things Wild Rock. Bring your A-game, folks. The Rock is waiting for you. Visit wildrockgolf.com. wildrockgolf.com.
Hi, this is Paul Brown, longtime Badger sportscaster. At this very moment, there's over 120,000 individuals in Wisconsin living with Alzheimer's or dementia. That's the seating capacity of Lambeau Field and American Family Field combined. Get involved with Alzheimer's Association by volunteering or by elevating awareness at your local Walk to End Alzheimer's. Visit alz.org/walk.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter with funding by Oak Park Place Foundation.
And we're back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from TPC Wisconsin. Along with Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown, and joining us now is Steve Stricker, who won his 9th tournament on the Champions Tour in just over 40 starts, which is pretty impressive. Steve, congratulations on the win. You had a nice run on the backside yesterday, birding 4 holes in a row. Was that kind of the turning point of the tournament for you?
Yeah, most definitely. I'd just come off making a kind of a really silly bad bogey at number 12 right in the middle of the fairway and just 100 yards to the hole and flew it over the green. And at that point, things weren't really looking all that well. And then played the next 4 holes really, really well, made a couple of key putts in there and really hit really quality shots coming down even the last 2 holes. So, that was a good way to finish and good way to cap the week off, and it was a good week. And first time I've been there in quite some time, but they do a nice job of their tournament there at LA.
The media made a big deal out of the fact that you, Nikki, and Jerry worked on your putting before that final round. I know it's different for everybody, Steve, but when a golfer is having problems putting, what should you be looking for? That's part one of that question. And what did you find in your stroke in terms of putting?
Yeah, I've been, the week, a couple weeks prior out in Washington, I putted horribly. I actually hit the ball really nicely and just made nothing and had no momentum or just any good feelings on the greens. And there were Poana greens out there, bumpy. It was hard to get the ball started and maintain the line. So I kind of shrugged it off. But then, going to Warwick Hills this last week, the greens were pure and perfect and fast. And, I didn't putt very well. I made a lot of nice putts in the Pro-Am and then didn't putt very well the first round. And that's when Jerry and Nikki started watching me a little bit and just found that I was aiming to the right a little bit more than usual. I typically aim a smidgen to the right, but I was aimed quite a bit to the right, and it was actually weak in my hands. So started rolling the ball. I had an idea of, just accelerating going down the line. Well, every time I did that, I would shoot it off to the right. So I was having a hard time controlling the face and where the ball was coming off. So basically it was just weak in my hands, and I was lining up a little to the right. So from that point on, I just felt like I was aiming a little bit left and just going down my line a little bit better, and started to feel a little bit like old, and started rolling it better, and then all of a sudden I started seeing the line a lot better. It's amazing how that works. So I putted it great on Saturday. They helped me out on Friday after the first round, and then I putted it really, really well on Saturday's round and an 8-under round, and then putted it well again yesterday. Made a couple of really key putts on 15 and 16 that ended up being the difference maker.
You had a wonderful family affair over there on the weekend with Bobby there, Nikki there, Mario there. By the way, your thoughts on Mario? He's starting to give an impression that he can play on that level, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got a lot of game, and he's kept in good shape. He still hits it out there with some distance for that tour, so it's good to see him playing well and having that desire to get in there to play. So, it's exciting for us to all be a part of what he's doing as well, and be on the road with him and have dinners with him. And his wife came out, so it was a real nice time that we had this last week. And he's playing well. I think he moved up to, I think I looked at him today, he's 75th on the money list. And,
Yep.
And he needs a few more spots, and I think the top 72 get into the first playoff event. And so we're rooting for him to make that next jump.
You're fifth in the standings of the Schwab Cup at this point, behind Elker, Harrington, Kelly, and Jimenez. But you're also caddying for your daughter, Bobby, who's qualified for Stage Tour on the LPGA Tour. And that is a key factor in how much golf you're going to play the rest of the way, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I'm excited to be going with her, and I'm going to miss a couple of Champions Tour events. The way her next stage is, it's kind of on, her practice rounds are on a weekend of one of the events, and then when her tournament play starts, it's actually the first playoff event out there, so I'll miss that for sure. So I'll miss a couple of events, and which is fine. I mean, it's this Champions Tour is a great gig for us. I mean, we're privileged and blessed to be able to play it still later on in our careers, but what she's doing is more important than what I'm doing at this point. So I'm gonna go with her and try to help her out and try to get her feeling good about what she's doing, and so I'm excited to help her try to achieve her goals too.
I know you were kind of busy, so you didn't see the battle for the FedEx Cup over the weekend, but it went down to the final hole between Rory McIlroy, who battled back from being 10 strokes down to win that $18 million. The format for this has come under question. The top 30 using a graduated scale of 10 strokes behind up to 2 behind. But you know what, Steve, it looks like that format works because you had number 1 against number 4. Yeah, and in the last few years, there's been quite a bit of drama down the last few holes of the tournament. I didn't get to see it yesterday, but I understand it, that it came down to the end, and that's all you want in a competition, that you're hanging on the edge of your seats all the way to the end, and that's what that's been doing the last few years. So it seems to be, no matter what system you have, there's always going to be debate on whether it's the right system or not, but
it proved to be. I mean, you had the two best players in the world going at it right down to the end. So this year it seemed like it was the right thing.
The PGA announced some major changes in the last week, including top players must commit to 20 events. John Rahm has a problem with that. He said, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to do that. They're talking about $20 million for each tournament. The PIP has been increased from the top 10 to the top 20 players, and they have an earnings assurance program, travel stipend, and modifications will be made to the life membership and a 2-season PGA exemption. Quickly, just generally, what are your thoughts on some of those changes?
I wish this would have happened about 15 years ago. That's what I really think.
Attaboy.
But oh well, every generation can say that, you know. But you know, I think you know, they're trying to combat this live tour and trying to keep their members happy and have them stay on board, you know. So I think it'll be a tough ask for some of those international guys that still, or the European players, I should say, that still want to play the European tour, because they have to play so many on that tour. And then if they're committing to 20 events on the PGA Tour, so that may be something that they're going to have to address. I read that same article that you're referring to, Paul, I think, and they may have to address that a little bit because some of those guys just won't be able to play that much. But yeah, it's an interesting time. It's something that has got my attention, and you know, waking up every day to see what new news there is, and almost makes me want to play some more PGA Tour events next year and get back out there. But it's interesting times for sure.
Reportedly, Cameron Smith, Mark Leishman, Harold Varner III, Joaquin Newman are going to move on to the Live Tour, and Live Golf has put a player lawsuit against the PGA. And Steve, with all of this, obviously there's going to be a lot to be decided. But what's the bottom line of what's going on with golf, with all of these activities and all the things that are happening in your mind?
Yeah, it's frustrating and disappointing in my mind. You know, I mean, this tour has been around a long time. The history that this tour has had has been around for a long time. You know, competition is a good thing amongst tours. I wish they could have gotten together kind of on the same page, you know, and work together on this deal. What I really hate to see is how much it's affecting the President's Cup this year. You know, they're losing quite a few players. You know, just Cam Smith, if he goes, Leishman has played President's Cup, Brandon Grace, Louis Oosthuizen. You know I'm missing somebody in there too, but they're Joaquin Neiman. You know, if he goes, he would make the team this year. You know, it's just, that's the sad part. You know how much it could affect that President's Cup and potentially the Ryder Cup next year. You know, depending on who goes and who stays. So that's the one thing that I'm really disappointed in, and how much that's being affected. And I mean, there's going to be great players that come along all the time, and some of the players that have left, the casual golfer won't even really know that he left, you know. But there are some big names that have gone there and will miss on the regular tour. So it's disappointing. I wish they could have gotten together a little bit earlier, but we are where we're at. And, you know, I'm a PGA Tour guy. I mean, I can't say anything negative about it. They gave me an unbelievable place to play for nearly 30 years, and I'm still playing out there. So, and they do such good in the communities, and that's the other part. You know, the charity giving. You know, the PGA Tour gives away more money than the other big three sports combined. So
that is true, isn't it?
That's the part. Yep, that's the part that really hits home with the PGA Tour, is how much they give back to the areas that they go into. So when that's disrupted, that's disappointing.
We're going to chat about your tournament and a couple of more questions, and I'm going to let you go. You drive up and down the road past TPC, Wisconsin. 7 holes are basically done right now. They're doing about 2 holes a week, so things are really shaping up. As you look at it and see it, Steve, generate some enthusiasm, right? And you go, man, this is really going to happen here.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm going to go out there tonight after all the workers leave and then just buzz around and take a look and just see how far they've come in a week's time. But, yeah, it's very exciting. I hear they're cutting some grass already, Tiz told me, and, on the fairways and some of the greens. So it's really moving along, and it's an exciting time. It looks hard to me. I don't know about what you guys have seen, but it's going to be a good challenge. It's going to be, generous off the tees, I feel like, and then, pretty demanding up around the greens, a lot of runoff and chipping areas and undulation on the greens, which Cherokee has never had. So it's going to be a huge and big difference. So it's an exciting time. Can't wait for someone to finally hit a shot out there.
I was just going to say, for the average player, it's obviously going to be a huge challenge. I was curious from your perspective, for the pro players, there's going to be some nice challenges here for all of them, isn't there?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very challenging for everybody, and I don't think it'll be, too hard. I'm not saying that, but I think if you find the appropriate tee box to play from, and make it playable, like I said, we've given plenty of room off the tee in the fairways, 30-yard wide fairways for the most part, so pretty generous. But then you have, the canals that Cherokee has always had over the years, and then the green complexes are more challenging than what Cherokee has been over the years. So, but it's all good. It looks beautiful. It's going to be beautiful, and it should play very well.
Steve, one more, and then we'll say goodbye, and thanks for all your time throughout the year. I asked you about the Ryder Cup book. I kept my promise. I read the book, and you come across looking pretty good in that book. So down the road, when you get a little older and you're sitting back relaxing, you may want to read the book, The Cup They Couldn't Lose by Shane Ryan, because he made you look pretty good in that book.
Well, that's nice. I didn't read it yet. I've only looked at the cover, Paul, so that's all I can say.
He said you were a great captain. And the last thing is your tournament, the AmFam's tournament. The Steve Stricker AmFam Foundation has raised over $12 million for the nonprofits you have right now until the 8th of September at 4 o'clock if you'd like to apply for some funds. But over $12 million, Steve, since 2016. It's you talk about giving back to the game of golf. You and the AmFam have certainly done that.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. That's been the coolest accomplishment of my and Nikki's and our family's career, really, just to be able to set up shop here in town and put on a tournament with the help of American Family Insurance, the unbelievable partner and sponsor for the event, and the community has been fantastic in participating and being a part of it and spending their hard-earned dollars to give back to the charities that we give to. So and the Children's Hospital, the American Family Insurance Children's Hospital, is the biggest beneficiary of it all to make sure that continues to be such a instrumental place to have right here in our community.
Well, this is our last show of the year, and we sincerely appreciate your time. We understand and know you're a busy man, and you give us time, and we appreciate that very much. And thanks for all you've done throughout the season, Steve.
You got it. Thanks, and good job to you guys. Thanks for having me.
And that's Steve Stricker, and we'll be back after this time out on TPC Wisconsin.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
every note,
or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew,
cruising,
you can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge.
Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing you the right balance of care centered around their lifestyles. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Enjoy the comforts of your apartment with an abundance of events just outside your door. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations in Madison, Janesville, and Baraboo. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
This is Gary D'Amato, senior writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.Golf. Visit Wisconsin.Golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.Golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. The voices of golf in Wisconsin.
And Gary D'Amato of Wisconsin.Golf will be sparring with Tiz here in about 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to have a little fun with Tiz. We got a plan, Gary and I, we talked about earlier today.
This ought to be good, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get you going a little bit if we can. But there's more guys leaving for the Live Tour. But I guess the big name, right, would be Cameron Smith in terms of a young guy that's got a lot of potential. Already won $29 million.
Yeah.
He would be the headliner in this group of potential guys that are leaving.
He's no question. He's really a good player and stuff, but you have a lot. There are some Americans, non-foreign players that are going there, but most of them are foreign players, and I don't blame them for doing that. They're getting on.
It's about the money, though, isn't it?
Well, it is, but they're representing their part of the world, too. You know, I mean, America, the rest of the world, it's a carryover. I mean, people came here, used the PGA Tour for their benefit. Now, keep in mind, because of their play, there was a lot of money that was generated on and on and on. But I don't blame them for doing what they're doing. I don't know. I know that we're not going to be short players. I can tell you that. There's players out there on that Korn Ferry Tour that can compete today. And there are a lot of them who are out there competing who came from that Korn Ferry Tour. So, you know, you don't even hear about Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Gary Player. You don't even hear about those people anymore. Those were great players. They were the best. The tour was never going to survive
without them.
Without them. Look at here. It's got nothing but better. Okay, so it'll get better. Golf is a great game, and I don't care what you do. The game of golf will survive. It is that way. It has survived. It will survive. This business now of betting on every, just like the football games, and come on, really $18 million to win a tournament?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
He's got $60 million in his career now with that for Rory.
Yeah,
in terms of,
I just read too. The young lady, the tennis player, is going to be her last tournament.
Yeah.
You know what her net worth is? Do you have an idea?
$400 million. I have no idea.
$280 million.
No kidding.
So you see, we got people here that I listen to that they're surviving, not surviving because of age or color or whatever. Come on. There's people that are using our system, and I'm glad that we have this tour going. I can see someday along, and President's Cup, Ryder Cups will be that and that. That side against this side. Why not? You'll be surprised in time. The people on both sides are not stupid, but they're going to figure a way how to make this entrepreneurial, and it'll work.
Oh, by the way, the $60 million that Rory's won on the tour doesn't include the $200 million that he got for signing the contract with Nike.
Oh, yeah.
Or his retirement or anything else he's got going. But by the way, Cameron Smith, one of his best friends is Billy Horschel. And Billy played with him yesterday at the tournament at the FedEx Cup. And it's not official yet, but he talks about if Cameron leaves for the Live Tour.
He's my friend. He's a really good friend of mine. So I don't know what he's going to do. Obviously, there's a ton of rumors. He hasn't told me one way or another if he's leaving or not. As I've told him since he's won the Open Championship, and I tell him a lot. I'm a big fan of his. I love the kid to death. I think the world of him. He's got a massive heart, and I've always got his back. So I just, as I've said to him for the last month, whatever he decides, I'm still going to be his friend. I'm still going to have his back. I'm still going to love the kid to death. We're still going to hang out and go fishing. But I am going to miss him if he decides to go. So just because I won't see him nearly as much out here on tour.
Have you tried to sell him on staying?
I don't sell anyone on anything. I try to tell them how much I appreciate them as people, as players, more as people and who they are, and how much I would love for them to stay out here and compete on the PGA Tour. But at the end of the day, if someone's going to make a decision, or their mind's already made up, then that's obviously the decision.
Those are the comments of Billy Horschel talking
Really good.
about, and I mean that perspective.
Really good. He's saying all the right things, and I think it's great. And you're going to go, but when you're going to Live Tour, you're going to grow older too, and they're going to be faced with being able to replace those people. And there's a European tour. There's some good players on there, so both places are by. This is big enough for two. It doesn't have to be PGA. Like I told you, the only thing that bothers me is PGA is me too, Professional Golf Association.
Yeah, what do you
And I'm
get?
listening. Nothing. I can't even get a retirement fund. So I got all these 24,000 PGA members out there that don't have a retirement fund. How do you get people today to go to work on a quality people? Get people in here without benefits.
Well, you would think with the money that they're throwing around these days, they'd find some money for the PGA Pro or Tour player.
I don't know.
That's
the only beef that I have with this thing here. But I'm happy for all these guys that they're able to go ahead to take golf to the nth level, because 99% of them all have foundations that are doing what Steve and American Family does here. Tiger Woods' school out there on the East Coast, West Coast is phenomenal.
Big time.
Is phenomenal. So we get caught up in all of this here, but behind the scenes, all these guys are really pretty good.
Well, we've got Gary, huh? Gary D'Amato is joining us. He wants to spar with you. But before
Here we go.
Hi, Gary. How are you?
Get into a peeing contest with a skunk. Here he is.
You know what he did? He wrote an article that caught the headline caught my attention in Wisconsin.Golf about Aaron Rodgers potentially joining the Live Tour. Gary, do you want to talk about that?
That'd be great.
Well, I think obviously he was joking, because he talked about they would have to pay him Tiger money to get him to go to Live, which is 800, 700, 800 million. So he's not going to Live anytime soon. That's for sure. I think he was. Yeah, he obviously was joking, but it was on a podcast when he said that. But I just had fun with it in one of my columns.
He better try winning football games for Green Bay. Maybe he should start there. Mr. Big Shot.
Right.
Hey, you had an article, too, about you were involved in a putting championship down at Lake Geneva. How'd you do?
You have to ask about that, Paul?
Sure. This is all part of the show.
What did they do, slip off the green?
No, they had a putting championship down at Lake Geneva.
Who's they?
Lake Geneva National.
Oh, they had and he was invited?
He was in the tournament.
It was actually a Wisconsin State Golf Association, a new event. They're going to have a state putting championship every year. They had it on the dance floor, this new big putting green at Geneva National. And, there were 77 competitors, I think, and I finished tied for 70th. So
really good. At least you didn't finish last.
Hey, and I told Gary, I told Tiz about something else that you wrote, and I'm not sure he believes it or not, but people listening, two guys got a hole-in-one on the same hole, okay? The odds of that, according to Gary, are 17 million to 1. A week later, the same two players at a different golf course, both got a hole-in-one on the same hole again. Isn't that true, Gary?
Well, it's a little bit different than that. It was two golfers getting a hole-in-one on the same hole in an outing. And then in another outing a week later, two other golfers did it.
Oh, two other golfers. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But still, in an outing on the same hole twice, and it happened twice in 2 weeks, that's beyond, you couldn't even write odds for that, I don't
That
think.
happened in a PGA event, a state PGA event.
Did it?
Yeah, because, we would put money in because if you got a hole-in-one, everybody put some money into it, so you got a pretty good piece of change. So this guy gets it, and I think Carl Eunice was involved. And Carl was the second guy up, and Carl made a hole-in-one right after this guy. Same deal, yeah. So he got nothing. The other guy got the money, which was okay.
Well, earlier this week, late last week, I asked Gary to come up with some questions for you, maybe things that he's wanted to ask you over the years, but he never has. And so we're going to turn it over to him after the timeout and let him kind of take the direction here for a little bit. We'll be back after this timeout on TPC Wisconsin.
When it's time for an adventure on the open highway, one quick call to American Family Insurance gets you headed in the right direction. Our travel peace of mind package is there if you encounter a bump in the road. From roadside assistance to rental car coverage, we have you covered. Find a local agent or get a quote at amfam.com.
American Family Insurance.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells, a Herdsden Fry masterpiece, is one of the premier golf destinations in the Midwest. Wild Rock provides a true test of your skill, combined with some of the most stunning vistas you're ever going to encounter on a Wisconsin golf course. Download the new free Wild Rock app. It's a true game changer and lets you stay up to date and receive special promotions regarding all things Wild Rock. Bring your A game, folks. The Rock is waiting for you. Visit wildrockgolf.com. wildrockgolf.com.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Hi, this is Matt LePay, voice of Badgers football and basketball. 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's disease or other dementia. We all know someone. It might be your mother, grandfather, brother, spouse, coworker, or friend. You can raise awareness and funds to fight this devastating disease through the Walk to End Alzheimer's. Join the fight today at alz.org/walk.
Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association Wisconsin chapter with funding by Oak Park Place Foundation.
How's that for a segue, huh?
Yeah, he's right in there, yeah.
Gary D'Amato sparring with Dennis Tiziani. And on the phone with us is Gary D'Amato of Wisconsin.Golf. By the way, if you want golf news on the state of Wisconsin, that's where you go.
Yeah, that's very good. They're doing good with that.
Wisconsin.Golf. There's none better in the state of Wisconsin. No. So, Gary, take it away for a couple of minutes here.
Yeah, one thing, and this isn't going to be sparring because I'm just interested in what Tiz has to say about this stuff. So, obviously, you taught Mario how to play and worked with him. Obviously, you worked with Steve over the years, and you've watched Jerry a ton. I'm not sure if you've worked with Jerry at all over the years, but I was wondering if you could kind of, they each do something different in their swing, and I'm wondering if you could just talk about what makes their swings, unique and what works for them that might not work for the other two guys.
Well, the fundamentals that they're doing is one thing. The mental aspect is the other. And that's the biggest item, that what happens in trying to get these people to have their chronological age match their mental age. And sometimes they never get caught up. But when you can do that, the time that you can do that, that's when you're going to progress. Jerry, as you know, he's a special person in my book. He's very good. I mean, he's very much underrated. I mean, he's as good as it gets, and he's showing that now. But again, over time now, even though he appeared to be confident and on, there was not that. I didn't see it there. I see it there now, where all of a sudden things have happened in his life also that have straightened him up a little bit, and he's moving along. Steve, very good. You know, he had that downturn that he had over here, but now from that time, he became his own best teacher. So his swing, there are things inside of that swing that obviously nobody has the perfect swing, just like Jerry being laid off, and now he got that straightened out. But they have strengths that they have. You know, Jerry became the best up and down player on the PGA Tour. Can you believe that? That's very good. Steve became the best putter on that PGA Tour. Mario, same thing. He had to make a decision just like I had to make, where he had two young girls at home and running around the world. I had 3 kids at home running around the world playing golf. I mean, you got to make a decision whether you're going to play golf or whether you're going to take care of your family. I give them a credit. All 3 of those people, Jerry and Steve, that family comes first. Then golf comes. So I think, in answer to your question, all 3 of these guys, chronological age and mental age caught up, and they're moving ahead. And fortunately, it happened at a time that they can enjoy it. For some people, it never gets that way. For others, some of these young guys that are 25, 26 years old, although you saw a lot of mental deterioration from this last tournament, from this fellow. And then you saw the mental maturity from Rory McIlroy. You can tell how he's talking now. He has a different perspective on the world, on life, on people. He's sensitive to other people's feelings. Billy Horsch, you saw that also, how the sensitivity. That's what I call that mental maturity, that they can go ahead and move forward, that at the end of the day, the next shot in golf, what's the most important shot in golf, right?
Next one.
The next one. And you can see how these people are moving ahead in that particular deal. So there's the other part, all 3 of those people came from a very, very strong background, a parental background. I don't think you can ever, it's difficult to be a good dad unless you had a good dad. You know, I mean, I see it all the time. I have a number of people who dads just don't figure out, but, you know, I can see the difference in a kid, and I know why they gravitate over here, because we've got some priorities that we stick with, and they like that discipline. And they don't lack motivation, but the discipline part is the deal. And these 3 guys are disciplined players. And all 3 of them, you take a look at their family and family backgrounds. All 3 of them the same. Jerry's mom and dad, I mean, I know his dad really well. His mom is in the game. That was the strength. You take a look at Steve's mom and dad. Same type of deal, you know, where the discipline was there. And Mario, of course, we don't have to talk about the discipline he ran into, but he had that discipline. So that's an answer to your question, that, you know, they're real people today. That's what's really important.
Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Second question is, you know, Tom Weiskopf passed away a few days ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, including me, loved Tom's swing. Probably was an underachiever. I think he admitted that himself, even though he had a great career. But I'm wondering, what's the best swing you've ever seen, and why?
You know, back on Tom Weiskopf, you know, this tournament that they played in, this one at Warwick Hills, I played in that tournament back in 1963 or 64, same place. And a funny deal, you know, I got an exemption to play there, if you can believe it. They gave me an exemption to play. But I think I found out that my dad made a deal with, he made a deal with the senator who was from up there. Somehow or other, the senator backed something that Buick was doing. It was a Buick Open at the time. Yeah. Buick was doing, and the deal was, I'll back you if you give this kid an exemption. That's how I got in there. But at that tournament, I played with Tom Weiskopf. And yeah, I played with Tom Weiskopf, and we had another. Why can't I think of this? He won the U.S. Open back in '56, but he was a guy who I knew and did a lot of stuff, and had a lot of stuff that he was trying to teach Tom Weiskopf when he was there. But you know, he never really had that. He achieved mental capability, or achieved when he started to design and use that creative thing, designing courses. He's one of the best golf course designer that ever designed courses. He's very good. But playing, you know, he had other things. Did a lot of hunting, did a lot of fishing, and I suspect that used a lot of natural ability, but he had to go a little bit past that natural ability, a little bit more commitment to be better, although he won an Open. So, you know, he's a major championship winner. Nice guy. You know, I knew of his background a little bit, when he grew up there, you know, but he lived in the shadow of Jack Nicklaus, you know, and that was a tough thing to do. And he made the greatest comment in the world once on the 16th hole at Augusta. Watching that, he was commentating. He's a very good commentator, by the way. And the lead commentator asked him, "What do you think Jack is thinking about now?" He says, "If I knew what Jack was thinking about, I wouldn't be sitting in the booth here with you." So that was pretty good. So Weiskopf, special guy. He had, but now back on that swing, there is nobody that could give you fundamentally the fundamentals that I teach, that I know about, the fundamentals that Ben Hogan had. I've got books and video and reams, and I had the opportunity to stay with him when he was hitting balls and to watch what he was doing. And he never had a teacher. He developed this stuff by himself. He made a book. I still have that. It's Life magazine. October.
Still in plastic or something.
Still in plastic. October 1952. He wrote an article in Life magazine of the change that he made. And I have that magazine, and it's still in plastic. I never opened it, but I did see one that was open, and the changes that he made, and what he did to make those changes and use those things, those rotating things that we talk about, all parts of his swing. I can't tell you there's anything. It was perfect. And when he first started out, I was with a guy named Tom Lopresti. That was a real big teacher, big guy out on the West Coast, and we got along fine. I spent a lot of time with him, and you know, he made comments about what this Ben Hogan. I mean, he was such a hooker. He couldn't keep the ball away from going left all the time. That's when he made those adjustments, and he found out what he made. And ironically, those things that he did are things that we incorporate now in our lesson programs so that those things can happen. So, you know, you go from hitting the ball to use your core body versus your hands, and he was very good. I went to his program. Am I taking too much time?
We're about a minute and a half away from saying goodnight.
Oh, well, I played on Ben Hogan's deal, and I went to his staff, and I went to his deal, so I had an opportunity to sit there and talk with him and ask him about his clubs and the face and everything else, and he's only about 5'7", see? So he put his arm around me because they took a picture, which I still have. And, boy, he says, "You're a big guy." But, you know, when I shook hands with him, his hands were twice as big as mine and gnarly strong. I mean, so his hand play was phenomenal. And if you go, and I used to go where he practiced, and where he practiced was a different place at the course there. There were no divots, just grass. You could go there and just have. So in order to get that was all hand action that he had to have. So now we got to get the right hand action, and how do we marry that up with our core body? That's what we do in our teaching process. That's where we've had the success in bringing these young people so that they can communicate back to me. And once they talk back to me, then we're good.
Well, we got to say goodbye to Gary, being he's been a nice asset to our show this year. Gary, we appreciate your contributions and continued success in writing for Wisconsin.Golf. Check it out, everybody. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll be back after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Drew and Jonathan Scott here to tell you that American Family Insurance wants to protect your dreams. So whether you're at home singing in the shower,
every note.
Or prefer singing your heart out in the car like Drew?
Cruising.
You can save up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto insurance with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge. This is Paul Brown for Oak Park Place. Oak Park Place Memory Care Communities provide seniors and their loved ones peace of mind. Residents find purpose in their day through a success-oriented program focused on meeting residents where they're at on this journey with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. At Oak Park Place, loved ones find comfort and connection through caregiver support groups. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
This is Gary D'Amato, Senior Writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.Golf. Visit Wisconsin.Golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.Golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. The voices of golf in Wisconsin.
And back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. Tiz, we're out of time and we're out of shows for the season. Right now, 7 holes are complete here at TPC Wisconsin. They're going to do holes 16 and 18 this week. So things are really moving along, aren't they?
They really are. It's way beyond, well, I shouldn't say way beyond, but it's beyond any expectation. You know, we can look at drawings and the like of what can, but every hole, when you come here, every hole, I told you the guy called me up, wanted to do me a feature on a feature hole. What's your hole? I said, well, they're all, I don't know where I'd go. They're all that way. And the nice part about it, and Steve hit on it, there's a minimum of 5 tees per hole. So you go all the way back, it's a whole different ball game than when you play the forward tees. You play any one of those first 3 forward tees, you'd be playing anywhere from 6,200 down to 4,800. And it takes away a lot of the force carry over a lot of sand traps and stuff. So even though I tell you it's a tournament course that has membership, very much the membership is very much taken into play on every hole here. And the sand, of course, every part of it, from sand to bunkering to, it's fabulous, to bridges to how this thing is laid out, fabulous.
And there's renovation going on inside the building as well. In fact, you're resurfacing the tennis courts, the indoor courts now, right?
Yeah, indoor courts are getting resurfaced. We're still going to have 2 pickleball courts, but for most part it's a tennis club, and those are all redone. The lights, Steve and I did that. We put the lights on here so the lights are the like. So now inside, you get to see we finished TPC Grand, the big room upstairs. Now we're going through the rest of the club too. So it's going to be kind of special.
And the locker room's going to be redone?
All redone, yeah. We already have a place where we have the old lockers, the new ones. We've decided already what type and how big they are, 15 inches wide, half lockers. The color, we're pretty close to being correct, and it'll be really cool.
Well, we're out of time. We got a minute left. We can't leave without saying thank you to Dave McCann.
He did a very, very good job.
Who's kept us on the air all year long. It's been fun. It's hard to believe it's been 11 years we've been doing it.
Is that right? Is that 11 years already?
Yeah.
I put up with you that long?
Yeah. Well, that can work both ways,
I
right?
know it. No, it's really cool. We'll be looking forward to next season when we have this, or next year when we do this. A lot of good stuff coming up.
All right, for Dave McCann, along with Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown, and that's our last show for the year, and we thank you for following the golf instruction and the shows in general on our season of broadcast here on the Golf Effect Radio Network. So we bid you farewell for now from TPC, Wisconsin.